Hello, happy friends and frogs. How is everyone out there doing? I'm doing well. I am so glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. Please like and subscribe, leave me a comment, hit that notification bell so you will be notified when I drop a new video. All these things will help YouTube fit me into their algorithm and they'll recommend my videos a little bit more. And I really would appreciate it because I get to reach more people. I'm Cassie. You've joined Cassie's Corner and we talk about ways to get rid of depression. If I've come to realize that I'm saying a lot of things over and over in my video, and it kind of can get boring. It gets boring for me to say them all the time. So if you're new here, I'm Cassie. We talk about ways to get over depression, and there are much more videos that are from this time, behind past is what I'm trying to say. There are past videos that explain so much of what I'm doing. My goal is to let all the depressive and anxiety ridden people know that depression is not permanent, and it a lot of it has to do with brain control. And the way that I do it is from Stoicism. I haven't researched on Stoicism as much as I am reading it and being like, oh, this applies to me. Every single one of them that I read, unless I just read and don't understand what they're saying, can pretty much I am able to relate to because of my depressive moods or because of things that has happened to me in the past because of my depressive moods. So with that being said, we are on February the 18th. We are on the 49th day of the year. What happened? It was going so slow. January was so slow for me. I have no idea if it was just a long month right after another long month or February is just kind of short. I don't know. We have 10 days until the end of February. Think about that one. People with the February 29th birthdays, I hope you celebrate your birthday somewhere between the 28th and March the 1st. Sorry about that. I hate that we miss a day every 4 years, but that's just the way things go. I don't know. I don't understand it. Really don't. I don't understand leap year. I don't understand daylight savings time. I don't understand all that. I think all the time should be like getting late, getting dark at 8 o'clock. I think all the time, even in winter, because it makes no sense to me why we should change it. It creates a lot of trouble. But what am I? My opinion means nothing. I'm just a normal girl. Really, I am. I hope that you're here, and I'm glad that you're here. I really am thankful for all the comments and all the likes and all the subscriptions, all the subscribers. My channel is growing slowly but surely. I've been at this for almost a year. I didn't think I had a whole lot to say, so I'm grateful for the people that I am able to reach out to, and they can relate to some of the things I say. So I'm really happy with that. Gratefulness is one of the things that we preach here. Make you a gratefulness journal, a grateful journal, and write down all the things you're grateful for. A lot of people would be grateful for like money or gold or clothes or shoes or I don't know. I'm grateful for like air and my grandchildren and trees, and I'm grateful for people. I am grateful for other people's genius. There are a lot of people out there that use more of their brains than I ever could. Developing the light bulb, creating the fax machine, the World Wide Web, Wi-Fi. Hedy Lamarr. Love her. Love that it was a girl that it ended up processing that. I'm sure she had a team of helpers, that were maybe men, but she was one of the ones that pioneered that. Just geniuses out there. So grateful for them because we would not be where we are today without the help of a genius mind. And we surely know that's not me. Maybe. Maybe. I wonder sometimes what it would be like if I was born like in the 1800s or 1920s to 1930s. That's my era. Well, actually from 1850s maybe to 1930s 30s is that's where I wish I had. Uh, I'm that kind of soul that I want to know what it would have been like to live in that era. And then we jump up and it's the 1950s. I kind of want to be in the 1950s, not so much the 1960s. I don't care much for that era, or the 1970s. I was alive in 1970. I was born in 1970, so I kind of waded through that era, and I remember it just being a dirty. I don't know if it's because of my past life, because of what I went through at that time. I just feel like it was a very dirty, grungy era. It was very nasty. The colors were just horrible. Uh, don't mind me. It's just a thought. I don't know. Anyway, on February the 18th, the 49th day of the year, we are reading Prepare for the Storm. And this is out of the book, The Daily Stoic. Okay. This is the true athlete, the person in rigorous training against false impressions. Remain firm. You who suffer, don't be kidnapped by your impressions. The struggle is great, the task divine, to gain mastery, freedom, happiness, and tranquility. And Epictetus said that in his discourses. Epictetus also used the metaphor of a storm, saying that our impressions are not unlike extreme weather that can catch us and whirl us about. Dun, dun, dun. I'm just kidding. But let's think about the role of the weather in modern times. Today, we have forecasters and experts who can fairly accurately predict storm patterns. Today, we're defenseless against a hurricane only if we refuse to prepare or heed the warnings. If we don't have a plan, if we never learned how to put up the storm windows, we will be at the mercy of those external and internal elements. We're still puny human beings compared with 100 mile per hour winds, but we have the advantage of being able to prepare, being able to struggle against them in a new way. Preparing for a storm. Speaking of weather, there's a weather guy that is here on YouTube that I listen to. He's just earned his meteorologic specialization. Max Velocity. If you ever have to wonder about your storm, listen to him. He's really great. He's a young guy. He's awesome. He just hits all the pinpoints. So I really like listening to him. But if you're ever in a situation where you're worried about the storm, Max Velocity. He's awesome. Okay. So aside from that, a storm. What do we say when we're preparing for a storm? Obviously, we are aware that there is some impending weather disturbances coming. And we can think of this as maybe like we're going into an office and we know that we have enemies in there. We can think of this as preparing to face family members that do not agree with our life or always has something to say, always has something negative to say about us. We can think of this as a weather situation, as in if you're suffering from anxiety or anything like that, going into a crowded place, going to eat dinner, going to a party, or whereas you usually say, okay, I don't want to go because anxiety people don't really like to go out in crowds, but it's okay to have fun. It's okay to come out of your comfort zone. You'll be so much more confident once you come out of your comfort zone a couple of times. You'll know that you'll be able to manage it. Preparing for the storm, preparing for a plane ride, if that's the first thing you ever did. I remember my first plane ride. I had to learn different types of breathing. But it's just things like that he's asking you to prepare for the storm, and he relegates it to being like an athlete in preparing for your performance, your run, your you practice. Or a musical, if you're playing a musical instrument, you have to practice to make sure that you get it right the first time. So that way you don't bum out the whole concert or whatever. And we need to think of life that way. We really need to, instead of just playing it day by day, um, kind of prepare ourselves for going out in crowds or going to face people that we just don't care to face, or um, plane rides, or train rides, or being at the beach. What are we going to do? How are we going to prepare for this? Um, when you pack your clothes to go somewhere, to travel, you pack for the weather that is going to be, and you don't pack for the weather. I did that one time. I packed for the weather that was here in Georgia. I didn't think about, because we went to New England really in springtime in May, and it was like the 50s, whereas it had been like the 60s and 70s here, maybe even the 80s. So I just packed light and thought, I would be okay. But I get there, and we're at Niagara Falls, and it's wet and everything, and it's in the 50s, and I'm freezing. But I tried my very best not to complain, because I didn't prepare for their weather. I prepared for ours. So I tried to take it in stride, and it worked out well. I enjoyed myself very much. I did. I really did. That's the kind of thing we have to prepare for. If you're going to travel to a cold place, prepare for that weather. Don't prepare for your weather. Um, so we really have to keep that in mind when we're facing difficult situations. What if I'm going to meet a stranger? How do I prepare myself for meeting a stranger? I don't know anything about them. I just have to put on a certain type of internal armor and prepare myself that things may be said that might hurt my feelings. How am I going to behave? Can I look over it? Will I get upset? Will I just be able to ignore them? You think about all the situations that are going to happen if you are meeting up with a stranger. Just prepare yourself for what's to come, because being prepared is kind of like always being a girl. Girl Scouts are always prepared. We're prepared for everything. I have everything in my car except for the kitchen sink, and that I have a kind of a big car, and it, like, the trunk is like really full of stupid stuff, because I'm prepared. I've never been a Girl Scout, but I'm prepared. Don't ask. I don't know. I don't know. Um, but yeah, Epictetus warned us to be prepared for the storm. So we're going to do that from now on. We're going to use our brains, and we're going to, yeah, she gets on my nerves. She gets me every day. Um, we are going to prepare for the storm. We're going to say our affirmations. We're going to write our daily journals, nightly and morning. In the morning is a list of things you want to complete. It could be 2, 3 things. It could be up to 10 things. It could be up to 30 things. If you want to get brave, I'm not saying that's like a probability. That's not going to work. Up to 10 things is usually what I say. Be kind. Being kind is kind of like, once you realize you can put somebody else in a good mood, it puts you in a good mood. It puts you in a good spot. It's like, oh, that felt good. So it becomes very addictive to want to make someone happy. My brother was a jokester, and every time he came around certain people, he would always joke. I felt like sometimes, he's putting them down. The first thing he's got to say to people is putting them down. But in his mind, it's a joke, and it just eases up the conversation. So be careful with what you're joking about. Putting people down is probably not the best way to do it, especially this day and age when everybody seems to be offended by everything. What else are we doing? Your gratitude journal. I mentioned that in the beginning. Affirmations, being kind. Tell somebody you appreciate them. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be a waitress. It could be your son. It could be your daughter. It could be your husband. I appreciate my husband for all the days he's gotten up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning to get up and go to work. I appreciate that he sits there at his office and he deals with nonsense for the fact of, like, supporting me here at home. I appreciate the fact that, we have enough money for me to go back to school if that's what I choose to do, or whatever. I do have a closet full of clothes, and I have a room full of mess. I do appreciate that, because now I'm learning what's important, what is not important. So there we are with all of that. Journaling is even if you just like do it a page a day, you journal out your day. This happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. And you realize what has happened to you or what it said to you and how you behaved. If it upset you, what feelings did it bring? What memory did it bring back? Those kind of things. That's important if you're able to do that. Some people can't afford, certain books. Some people can't afford paper. It's that kind of thing. It depends on what you can afford, or if you want to type it out. Anything to able to document your behavior as opposed to someone else's behavior, or in certain situations, so you'll know how to better prepare for the storm the next time it happens. So, with that, yeah, I'm hoping everybody has a beautiful day. I'm hoping your work week is going well. I'm hoping the weather has suited you, and if it's not, then you just have to get over it. You have to learn to appreciate if you're having rainy weather or appreciate snowy weather. I don't know how you would appreciate snowy weather, especially up north when there's like 2 or 3 inches on the ground and you still have to get up and drive to work. And people are like, oh, you're like, it's snowing. I can't get to work. And they're like, people get to work all the time. Come to work. That kind of thing. So, again, I do appreciate all the comments. I appreciate you liking my videos. I appreciate everything you do for me. I'm not monetized, and that is not what it's about. What I feel like I'm about. I feel like I really want to help people. I've got myself, don't worry about me. Sometimes I come here with, maybe some health issues, maybe something's on my mind, but don't worry about me. I'm fine. I know how to control myself. I know I've worked with it enough, that it's become a habit to question everything I say or everything everybody else says. It's become a habit to, reposition my mind to think the best. So I'm good. I'm worried about everybody out there, and I don't believe my dog. I don't believe that you're supposed to be depressed. That is not the way God made us. We're supposed to be very confident, happy people, and we should be just happy to be alive. We should be grateful for the things that we have. And I do hope that everybody out there has a great day. I hope everybody has found maybe a person to look up to model themselves after, not to be like, but to model themselves after. A person to look up to, a person with great moral standards that they exercise daily. It could be a dad, uncle, a mother, a grandma, anybody. I used to tell my youngest daughter, she was just so awesome when she was a kid. I wanted to be like her when I grew up. I don't know if she remembers that. That'd be awesome. But everybody have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.